There's something really interesting going on at the start of chapter 33. I wonder if you noticed this. God said to Moses, you go on ahead. You take the Israelites with you. You go into the promised land. Now that all sounds great, doesn't it? God even says, I'm going to send an angel before you to drive out the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, all the various ites, the wicked nations that currently occupy that land. Verse 3, God says, go up to the land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go with you, because you are a stiff-necked people, and I might destroy you on the way. Let me tell you, it says something about what's going on in the hearts of the Israelites that these words bring about great distress. God is essentially saying to them here, look, I'm going to give you everything I ever promised. You'll get it all, but you won't get me. You'll have the land, you'll win the wars, but you won't have me. And the thought of that reality breaks the hearts of God's people. And that is a very, very good thing. You see that they begin to mourn together. That is a powerful description of what is going on. The last time that word was used in the Bible was when Jacob was told that his beloved son was killed by a wild animal. Jacob mourned and he refused to be comforted, we read. God says, in effect, look, that's just the nature of things. I'm a holy God. You're a deeply unholy people. Up to this point, I have been leading you, but from now on, I'm just going to be sending you. We can't dwell too closely together, or you might just be destroyed. Now that raises an interesting question for us, I think. What do we actually want from life? Do we want resources from God, or do we actually want relationship with him? Do we love the gifts, but basically ignore the giver? Do we long to be blessed by God, but we actually can't be bothered with God? The actions of the Israelites here would suggest that they are looking for something more from life. So Moses then goes to meet with God. They use a tent, they pitch it outside the camp, away from, if you like, the concentration of sinful behavior that might incite the wrath of God. They take this tent out of the camp and set it up where it can be set apart, holy. Now bear in mind that we know the plans of God. We know about the tabernacle that is to be built, but it has not yet been constructed. There is not yet a designated meeting place between God and man. And so this, it seems, is Moses' best effort at pleading his case before God. He just takes the initiative here. He sets up this tent outside the camp, and God, in his amazing grace, agrees to meet with Moses. Not only do they meet, but we are told what they talk about. Look at verse 15. Then Moses said to God, if your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. How will anyone know that you are pleased with me and with your people unless you go with us? What else would distinguish me and your people from all the other people on the face of the earth? What an amazing thing to say, don't you think? God, we're not bothered about being a people who win wars and take territory if we don't have you. We're not interested in being people who capture land if we're not accompanied by you, our God. The thing that makes us different, the thing that we care about, is not the resources we enjoy, but the relationship we have with the God who made us. God, we want you. And God says, verse 17, okay. Moses responds to this by saying, okay, God, now show me your glory. Do you see that Moses is a man who wants more than just resources? He wants rich relationship. We see the same thing in the Psalms. As the deer pants for the water, so my soul longs for your stuff, your resources. No, my soul longs for you. In a wonderful, mysterious way, Moses does get a glimpse of that glory. He gets to enjoy something of who God is at the end of chapter 33. Now, there is, of course, endless speculation about what specifically happens here. Let's just focus on what is clear for today. Moses is a sinful man. God is a holy God. Those principles that we thought about earlier about the danger of holiness when it comes too close to sinfulness, it is still very clear that Moses is not able to behold the fullness of the glory of God for fear of losing his life. If he saw that level of glory, he would be eviscerated. And so in some strange, baffling way, God stoops to show Moses the absolute limit of the glory that he could possibly comprehend. And see how God sets boundaries around it so as to not overwhelm or destroy Moses. He says, I will pass by you. I will put you in the cleft of a rock. I will cover you with my hand. I will show you the back of my glory, not the face of my glory. What is God saying with all these kind of mitigating measures? He's saying, look, the intensity of my glory is so beyond the mind of man, it simply would not be safe for you to see too much of it. Well, the fact is that you and I, if we are Christians, we will see the glory of God. We will be like him. We will see him. If you're in any doubt, Revelation 22 tells us God's people will see his face, not his back. When you read this story, it shows you just how incredible that is. That could only ever happen if we had been truly transformed, completely purified, made righteous by the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ, so we can stand in the presence of our holy God.